Look at that! Oh, I did not know the background was going to be what you're currently in. That's cool. Welcome back, everyone. It's Lost Scarf here for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles voice through Voice LP. We're going to talk to Sholmes today, who is getting the voice of Edgeworth. And I'm so mad Kazuma's dead. I thought he was going to be around for a while. I should have known. Should have known. Just like me. Should have known. Should have known. So mad, though. Still mad. Still mad. Okay. One of my better voices got used on Kazuma. Whoop. Alright, let's talk to this doof. Herlock Sholmes. Excuse me? Excuse me, do you have a moment? Shush, this is a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seemed a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long. Ah! What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Okay. Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What do you see? Feels like he's looking right through me. Oh yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. What? Sorry? What? And now, whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well that's true at least. But how? Because I'm a dumbass. How the deuce did I know that? How the deuce did I know that? I thought it was the deuce. How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction. Hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are, a merciless revolutionary. I'm guessing the killer is these things? You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. Is there a Crystal Tower? And when the ribboned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Maybe that last one's true. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. Okay, I'm gonna assume the actual killer is all these things for the time being. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Okay, it's not exactly Edgeworth, but it's something like it. Because he's not exactly Edgeworth. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even have one person who fits the bill. Let's see one or have one. Go back. I don't even... Oh, see one person. I said have. See one person who fits the bill. So it's true. It was you who did this, Kazuma-sama. What? And you're plotting revolution, too. God. Oh my god. Sato, please. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No, listen. There's no way I... Ah, crap! Third time on the ground! Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. I got hat-tricked. Please don't tell me this is the end of part 1. Okay, I was about to say. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see? What do you make of that, hmm? You shotgunned. Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Okay. Indeed. An observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. He's not wrong exactly. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. Ha! I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Holmes. So, it's really you, the actual Sherlock Holmes? The very same, the inimitable balls, actual Sherlock Holmes. Do you know this man, Sasato-san? The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san. Of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. What planet have I been living on, then? You must ask him what he's deduced. You will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? That's all we can do is converse, right? Can I still examine? I can still examine. What happens if I hit move real quick? Am I allowed to do anything? I'm in handcuffs and under house arrest by the crew. Not to mention Sato-san's constant glares. Now the great detective has deduced that I'm some kind of Russian revolutionary. My chances of getting out of this cabin are slim at best. At least for the time being, anyway. Perhaps I should see what the detective has to say for himself now. Present? Yeah, I got nothing. Okay, we're gonna present that to him, I'm assuming. Converse! Great detective. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Sherlock Holmes. Oh, I see. You're German? Sherlock? Was it? No. I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please call me Holmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Remaster magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. Have it sent from England especially. Ah yes, here it is. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then? Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for. The inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. So it's a different Wilson, because, like, when Wilson died, like, this guy kind of looks like Watson, but he can't be. Like, we're gonna see a Watson later, I'm assuming. Nope, no we're not. Dr. Wilson? Oh dear. I must say, thanks to the publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. That's why that blonde chick's a Moriarty, I swear to God. By this very moment, I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really, I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, is, to me, a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? Well, you come to a conclusion when you do a bunch of... Yeah, you can give me a science if it's exact. The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, slight inclination of the posture. Oh, that reminds me, I'm shrimping. Okay. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furs on the skin. All these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can he look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn, both for observation and for deduction and fame. That is what makes me the one and only, no, Sherlock Holmes. Was it hair? Okay, bruh. Okay, let's take a look at this thing. Oh, I thought I was given the book. Okay, I was not given a book. New thing. There's not a person in the world who hasn't heard of this famous great detective. Not a person except me, apparently. 34. How old is Cosmo? Oh, Cosmo's like 21? 23. So I assume we're the same age, like our characters, so 23. Cosmo's dead. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything, my dear fellow? Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. When I became anxious about Cosmo-sama this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Sherlock Holmes was on board. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh really? Two facts, you say? Two facts! Your deduction just now. Alright. New things! Two facts. Mr. Holmes, please tell us. What two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first, let us be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The two facts I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2, the victim was Russian, and killed follow... The victim was... Alright. Number 2, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Holmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. Yeah, that makes you think he's Russian. I'm not even gonna assume I'm gonna say that correctly. I'm not gonna try. That is Russian word for wardrobe. Oh, it's Cosmo saying there's someone stuck in the wardrobe. That's all he's saying, I think. Do you really think Cosmo-sama could have left a dying message in Russian? He might have been studying it for fun. In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. But this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian? Was he? Initially, I considered Garderobe, maybe the name of the killer, a certain Robert Gard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? What's going on here? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. What the balls? I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. But... This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Kazum had already been taken away when I woke up. This isn't the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes, thank you. The photograph of the crime scene has been added. Okay, let's take a look. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? Okay, let's take a look. Oh, wait. Go back. The Russian word for wardrobe in purple ink. It would appear to have been written in the victim's final moments. Nose. Okay. I don't think we're actually doing him, just zooming in because we can, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's his band. Okay, the only thing special here is that. Okay. What, pray? You mentioned Russian before as well, didn't you? You know when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that? Ah, yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Word, certainly, if it interests you. Many times I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian. Deduction just now. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean. Ah, the now famously accurate and troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping you to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part? Ah yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. The music changed. In that there's no music. Here we have this morning paper. The main headline reads: Revolutionary villain Bolshevik villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was revealed. Yes, you. Villain Bolshevik. No. How can it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Dude, what? Please. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower. Ah yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far, and those he is plotting. How do you just get on the newspaper with that? Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries actually usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? What about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in the war-torn region of Afghanistan. When is it not? Where even is it, anyway? This Afghanistan place. You would go from Afghanistan to Shanghai? Wait, the loop? Okay. Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you! I've absorbed all of that as of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. Article has been added. Okay, article on the front page of a Russian newspaper. Headline reads: Revolutionary Villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. That name is so on the nose. Yeah, let's take a look at that. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. Okay, let's take a look. guy!
I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian.
No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says.
The pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer some assistance. The article on the front page of this newspaper is concerned with a fearsome Russian revolutionary. It reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai.
Yes, you told us that before.
It reveals also that those who see the man's beard with their own eyes never leave the tale.
What about the interviewer?
Oh my goodness, he is fearsome.
Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was alright, wasn't he?
The solution is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, he need only shave it off. I'm not quite sure that's the problem, Mr. Sholmes.
The back. Hello. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, so is this part related to this part, or is it just two different things? Is it her dancing here, or is it just this lady here? Let's see. I'm actually curious how accurate all the Russian on this is.
This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san?
Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting.
I can't read a single word, I'm afraid.
No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, you think?
She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you?
I don't know. I can't make any sense of it.
Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article.
Ah.
Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents.
Oh, thank you.
It pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova.
Why are Russian names so hard to remember?
It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room. Wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles.
Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? That's a good question.
I have no idea, but I'm quite sure. It must be an unbelievable sum of money.
Rada-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves.
The tiara is the property of Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry.
Yes, I'm not surprised.
The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports over sailing to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country?
It doesn't seem to be the Russian thing to do. It does seem to be the Russian thing to do.
Not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo.
But you asked the question! Okay, so now we have that for evidence. Mark on the back, okay, we just read that, so.
On the back?
We just read it, shoot.
Cast your eye over it sometimes if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two?
Oop, next one. Before we start talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you?
Kazuma? Ah, yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text.
London Diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. You kinda need to, though, just in case.
Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading.
You mean you've read it already?
It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese.
Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Sasato takedown is.
Susato-san, aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely the diary belonging to the victim, it would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details.
Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese.
A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, Banzai, Mikado.
I don't know that one.
Nado.
I don't know that one either.
I trust you're suitably, impressed. Ha! But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none.
Why is he laughing? Why is he laughing?
What was all that showing off before, then? If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it for you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm much obliged, my dear madam. The final entry here in Kazuma's diary consists of just two short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound.
A whistling sound? That's the whistle for the snake.
These are very deep waters. Pray go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band?
What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring
to that. Now that's why he appeared when we looked at that.
To the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin.
Yes, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary has been entered into the courtroom record. So the problem is, I already have an inkling what's going on here because I know this story. And maybe I'm giving it away in a way, but not really perfectly. Like, we already know what the speckled band is. We know it's a snake because the intro did that, but...
So I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least.
Take a look here. A diary Kazuma was keeping of his trip to London. According to the last entry he made before his death, he spied what appeared to be a speckled band. I find it interesting, like, I see this. I see this thing. I see this other thing. Like, you're just diarying it. This is, I think what people used to use Twitter for back in the day. We were like, at this hour I'm doing this. At this hour I think I did that when I first did Twitter too. Like, hey, I'm doing this right now. Hey, like, just treated it like a play-by-play of your life. And that's what Kazuma's doing, which I would not do. Like, when I had a journal or a diary or whatever, because elementary school made you use those. Wasn't doing this. Alright.
Ah, do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest.
To go to the other room.
The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose. You're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to. The great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate, hence the truth will become clear soon enough.
Do you think perhaps that we could go with you?
No, that would be somewhat complicated.
What? But why?
A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer.
Oh, these.
After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter.
No? There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place.
Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point.
Kick him on the dick. What? You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago.
Dear me, you were clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that, too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know? Not really.
So what, were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are.
Well, anyway, that was then and this is now.
What do you mean?
What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly, or love and accept your fate.
Oh, I hate this man so much already. I was just being plain rude.
And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Not Oda-san, what are you just standing there for?
Hmm?
You must go and investigate the cabin next door as well.
Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can... Ah! Number 4!
After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate?
As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't you?
Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Is that? Is something wrong now, Hodo-san?
Is that him?
Oh no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before.
I need to give Hosonaga a better voice, if I'm going to keep running into him.
Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir.
Actually, if I can just develop the voice I already gave him a little better. Oh, that's the voice to give him. Oh my god, how can I do that voice? I don't think I can do that voice. The voice to give him is the one I was thinking of, but I was doing it very, very... Well, of that type is the medic from TFT. TF2. That would be a good voice for him if I could do it. But I don't think I can find that voice in me. Like, the voice I'm doing right now for him is, yes? Yes, what can I do for you? That is not a good voice at all. There he freaking is! Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Look who's here. Did not expect him to be reoccurring. Did not expect that at all. Well, I thought he would be... Actually, maybe he would be recurring a little. Not every time, though. Huh. I recognize that face, but it can't be. Oh, it totally is. It is!
I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga.
So, the voice I've been trying to give him is just that bespectacled German dude from Indiana Jones kind of thing, like that guy. But I don't have a very good grasp on that voice. Neither do I have on the medic. But it would be, look at him, he looks like the medic. It'd be the perfect voice. What do you think? TF2 really quick. Oh god, I can't. I'm thinking of Meet the Medic. Give me a second here. Nope, can't do it. But we're gonna try. Hello again. Oh, that was bad. What are you doing here?
I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope.
And that's how I lost my medical license. Oh god, I can't get that voice up.
I received some special orders to go into cover as a member of the crew on board the ship.
We're gonna try. Again?
You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help, please ask.
I never expected to see this man on board.
But perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation.
Examine. No, not examine. Get out of there. I see if I can present something here to go like, okay, that's not me. I figure this will convince him once the time comes. What's the time? Okay, let's keep going. Special orders. What are your special orders this time, Inspector?
Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew?
I'm sorry. That's not the voice of... I'm sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? Might as well to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. Huh? It was Minister Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that host Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Guess she's gonna be watching Meet the Medic a couple times. Because I want to get that voice down a little bit. Assassinated? How could that even have been a possibility?
I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities.
This is incredible.
I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew.
I see.
And I didn't take my ass off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin. Not here in the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector! So if there's anything at all I can do to help you now, just say the word.
I'm in no way getting this voice down. I gotta work on it. Permission to investigate. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves.
I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer.
Of course not.
We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door.
Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin.
I'm sorry.
What?
You've been deemed to risk the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two.
I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well.
Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive.
What do you mean?
A solid reason why the next-door cabin should be investigated, for example. I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to.
But I don't see how. Diary. Try the diary.
There may be a way.
What? Really?
Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san.
Oh, also that.
Presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession.
Evidence?
It's just the same as when you are in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select the Present panel and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaka could use.
So evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright, yes. I think I might know what we can use. Let's see if I can present the detective with the evidence he needs to persuade the captain. Present diary. And there.
What's that?
It's Kazuma's diary.
Just before he died, Kazuma wrote something rather strange in his diary.
Strange? In what way?
He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins to the next cabin door. The next door cabin. That's right. So if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see? I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? I'm really curious if he stole anything so far from this crime scene. Yes, as long as you don't leave the first class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those cuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just like move and we can leave this cabin at last. Move. Alright. Let's give it what we can try. Boop. Move it. I'd like to move it, move it. Okay, so the cabin... A cabin on the SS Buria and the scene of the crime. Kazuma was occupying this cabin for the voyage to Britain, along with me as a stowaway. Passageway that connects the first class cabins to the SS Buria. Oh, so we gotta go the passageway first, okay. Go there before we go there. We run into anyone, we stop. 9th January, 7:48 a.m. SS Buria, first class cabin passageway. Ooh, I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be, and this is the most luxurious accommodation. Got a mousetrap down there? Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on this study door by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage. Really? That must be awful. Guy! Oh, look over there. That's another crewman to keep watch. And he looks enormous, even if he is sitting down. His shirt does not fit him, wow. The door next to him leads to second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose. Like people in handcuffs. Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. He was only in the room. Well, yes, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. It must have been a very trying time for you. Please don't give me that pitying look. Like, that's cabin fever like crazy up in there. Oh, jeez. Okay, so we're going to examine everything next time. So that's the game for now. I had fun, hope you had fun watching, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and I'll see you next time.